Hey YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I thought I would address the current economic situation of UK. With things starting to open back up and we're all going to eat out to help out, it's quite easy to think that things are getting better. But are they getting better? Now while you watch the intro video, make sure that you hit the like button so that it helps the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video to other people out there on the YouTube world. So, the UK economy. What is going on? Now, everything must be pretty good, right? After the whatever it takes Chancellor Rishi Sunak, where he has spent almost £200 billion with schemes like Eat Out to Help Out and the furlough scheme. But in reality, that was all great to help us through the worst part of the pandemic. Or what we thought was going to be the worst part. Because technically in this last second quarter of this year, the UK economy output shrank 20.4%. Now this is the worst quarterly slump on record ever, which has consequently pushed the country into the deepest recession of any major global economy. But why is this important? And why should we be wary of this? Well, it's like Rishi Sunak mentioned recently, that these figures confirm that the hard times are here. And he also went on to say that already we have seen hundreds of thousands of people lose their jobs, and that sadly in the coming months, many more people will also end up losing their jobs too. Now looking at this graph, we can see the extent of how much UK has been affected compared to some of the other G7 economies. Now, why has UK been hit the worst? Well, studies have shown that mostly this comes down to the times at which the countries were put into lockdown. Now, for instance, China, where this whole pandemic started, have already returned back to growth, which essentially allowed the second largest economy of the world to dodge a recession after experiencing the worst start to the year in decades. But as Britain decided to go into strict lockdowns 2 weeks later than Italy, 10 days after Spain, and a week after France, this all resulted in the fact that it took longer for UK to get the spread of the virus under control. Now this has then ended up prolonging the restrictions that kept many businesses closed for a lot longer period of time. Now this can be seen, for example, where Italy allowed restaurants, cafes and hairdressers to reopen in the middle of May, whereas UK waited until July 4th. Germany allowed shops such as bookstores, bike shops and car dealerships to reopen as early as April 20th, which is almost 2 months before UK allowed non-essential retail shops to reopen. Now another reason for UK to have been hit so badly is because we are heavily reliant on services and household spendings, both of which posted record declines in the last second quarter. Therefore, consumers spent less money and saved more. But on top of that, millions of workers were furloughed and many now have also been laid off. Now as it stands, about 750,000 people have lost their jobs since the coronavirus pandemic, mainly affecting the young, the old, and the self-employed. But in situations like this, the best thing to do is look for the positive. And the best way to find the positive is to look at the negative. So for instance, what has been said for the last few years regarding jobs? It's the fact that computers are taking over many job types. However, computers are also creating a lot of new jobs as well. So, if you've been affected by the job cuts and finding it hard to find another job, maybe now is a great time to learn a new skill to broaden your horizons. Also, in this time in life, it has become so easy to start up a side business or a side hustle, which, if you really have a passion about, you could turn it into a full-time salary fairly quickly. Now I'll probably do another video very soon regarding the opportunities that are available during a recession like this. But one thing that is for sure is that the economy is being driven largely by this virus. And it is not very well understood right now when this virus will actually clear up, or even if there will be an effective vaccine. However, the UK GDP actually did grow by 8.7% in June, which is faster than what many economists expected. But generally, it does usually take between 3 to 6 years for GDP to regain its pre-recession level. Now, there are some key factors that we need to look out for in order to identify when the economy will be getting back to normal. Now, one of these things is when we start to see businesses investing again, as now is the best time for companies to invest in themselves, to basically rethink their business models and innovate in new areas. But currently, this last second quarter saw a 30% decrease in investments within the UK businesses. And so, with the private sector temporarily being afraid to invest, hopefully, as the UK government eases on income support, they will hopefully switch to begin supporting investment support. Now, other things that we should also be aware of is the similar occurrences that happened during the 2008 financial crisis. This is where the government became alarmed by the ballooning debt of most of the public, and therefore tightened policies too soon by increasing taxes and cutting government expenditure before the economy had even recovered its investment-driven growth plan. Now, as it stands, UK has not shown signs of making this error again, but we have to just wait and see what time will tell us. Also, thanks to Brexit and our centralised government, we also now won't be able to use any of the well-tailored 750 billion euros policy package that was announced by the EU government. So, what can we take away today? Well, yes, the UK is in a recession. Now, how long will it go on for? And how long will it actually take for us to bounce back out from it? We really don't know. And it could be anything between 1 to 10 years. However, one thing that is for sure, where there is a recession, there is always opportunity. So we should always be looking at the positive side and identifying how we can make the pandemic work for ourselves. I know lots of people would have been affected by this pandemic, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below how this pandemic is affecting you. And maybe we can come up with some ideas on what you can do in order to gain from the downfalls of this economic crisis. Now, I'll continue to do these videos, and hopefully we'll get a better idea of how the economy is changing, and hopefully for the better over the next few months, or at least get some kind of inclination of what this pandemic is actually doing and when it will end. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell button so you get notified when my next video comes out. And as always, remember to like, share and comment. See you at the next video. Bye.